We're doing it. Here we go. Talking about melatonin. Hey there, everyone. Dr. Beth Westie here. There's a reason I'm wearing these. I will talk about them in a minute, but I don't want to forget them. That's why I have them on my head. I want to talk about melatonin. This is something I get a lot of questions on, especially for people who have trouble sleeping. Oh, should I take melatonin? How much should I take? When should I take it? That type of a thing. Before we even get into talking about when, how, what, all the things with melatonin, there's a lot of other things to consider first that can actually be way more effective for you than just throwing back some melatonin. Yes, and then we'll talk about dosages and things like that too, because that's different for the female body than it is for the male body. And it can change throughout the month and shift with your hormones. Yay! It also shifts and changes when your system goes through a hormonal change like perimenopause or menopause. Woohoo! So fun. So, what is melatonin? Why is it important? Why do we need it? All the things, right? Well, first of all, melatonin. Did you see the picture I drew for you guys? This is what I drew. I had to redo the mouth like 6 times and it still looks really weird. I gave this person brown hair and light blue eyes because that is what my husband has. But it does not look like him at all. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are laughing at it with me. Okay. Anyway, so light. This is sunlight primarily, but also other types of light like blue light, light from fluorescent bulbs and things like that. They, get in your eyeballs. It doesn't like attack you. That's the other thing. It looks like the light is attacking. It's like laser beams at your eyeballs. No, your eyes, perceive the light and it hits your brain and everything. And then it stimulates your pineal gland, which is like right in the middle here, in the middle of your brain. And your pineal gland is what makes the melatonin. Now, this is responsive to dark and light. This is really cool. So I made a little graph here for you. Like 8 p.m., getting dark. I mean, right now, I live in Minnesota, and right now it's getting dark at like 4:45. So yeah, that's different right now. But when it gets dark, this is where it should be darker. So your body should start to produce the melatonin, which makes you feel relaxed and sleepy and all the things. Yes. And that melatonin rises throughout the night, and somewhere around, maybe 2 a.m. or so, it should be the highest. Melatonin should be the highest. And then it comes down, and when you wake up, melatonin is triggered to decrease an amount in your system because there should be light triggering it to come off. So it's the dark and light cycle. Now, also super fun, your pineal gland also does serotonin. Serotonin is also produced in the gut and other things too, of course, right? But pineal also does serotonin. Yeah. So it's really important that if you have had low serotonin levels or things like that, or your serotonin levels are off, yeah, it can impact your melatonin levels. That's not great. No. So it's really important that you're sticking to a sleep-wake cycle, especially if you are having trouble sleeping. Yes. So this is what it should look like. Now, what are some things that can help you produce more melatonin naturally? Simple things, really simple things. Make sure it's dark at night. Make sure it's dark in your... Right now, it is like nighttime and my melatonin levels should be going up, but there are lights on. I have lights, you see them, right? The lights are on. Yeah, that's not helping my melatonin right now. Nope. So after this, like right now in the rest of my house, you can't see it, but there are very little lights on. There are lights, just very few lights on. They're like corner lights, very dim, not any bright overhead lights on, because there shouldn't be at night. You should trigger your brain to wind down. Any type of screen. So like right now I'm on my phone. This is terrible. I'm setting a terrible example for what I'm talking about. Don't do this, what I'm doing right now on my phone. Oh, that's okay because I have my other biohacks around this when I do my videos at night. But the blue light actually, again, triggers your brain to keep producing things so you're not going to have the melatonin be produced. Jeannie, thanks. I know, right? So that's one. So candlelight, using a salt lamp. I have a salt lamp in my bedroom. So when I come in there, there's not, any bright light that I put on or anything in the space where I'm trying to calm down and go to sleep, all of that. Always a battle, Sarah. Yes, right? Always a battle. Yes. And then there's red light. You can get a red light bulb and put it in a lamp and keep that in your room, or keep it, wherever you need. Red light. I have a red light box that uses special red light therapy. That's the same kind of light that they use in infrared saunas and things like that stimulate your mitochondria and decrease inflammation, all those things. I use that before I go to bed. But my other little quick biohack is these bad boys. I'm going to put them on over my other glasses, right? Because this is how the cool kids do it. These are like $10 on Amazon, by the way. These are like so simple and easy. What these do, I leave a red light on for my dogs at night. Yes. This is like the same thing. Red light. I mean, I don't think my puppies would wear these. My kids wear them though. I put them on my kids sometimes. There, red light. This is my hack. If I have to do emails at night, if I have to be on my computer or phone or anything typically at night, I throw these guys on. One, because I look awesome, obviously. Right? But two, this is red light. This calms the midbrain, and this helps switch off the active light that gets stimulating for your brain. You want to shut that off. There's like a mechanism, right? You get to be in charge of this. The hardest thing about this is that it's a lifestyle thing. And yeah, you do. Thank you. And if you live with other people, right? Like sometimes it's like, you turn off the lights and then other people turn them on, or you try and, right? Yeah. Sometimes you are not always in control of what you're turning on and off for lights. So that's where these can be helpful. These are really calming for the midbrain. I also have my kids wear these. Yeah. Red light. I keep my red light in the bedroom and things like that, but these are just fantastic. This is going to help increase your melatonin production. Now, if you are trying this and you're like, oh man, I can't sleep, I'm having trouble, I did this for a day, it didn't help. Nope. I did all these things for a week. I don't know that it helped. There are times where you may have to stick to a pattern like this for like 4 weeks. Sometimes it takes longer than that. It can take longer than, that means that you have to be strict, not stay up late watching football, not stay up late, hanging out or getting caught up on your phone or whatever. It means like having an automatic timer that shuts things off. I have an automatic timer that tells me when I should go to bed and when I should be off of my phone for sure. And then I shut off my internet, or I put my phone on airplane mode and everything else, just so I don't nope, hands off, lady. No more on the phone. It's time to use your red light and read your books and go to bed. Yes. So those are the important things to train your brain and your body to wind down at night so your body can produce the right amount of melatonin and wake up. Now, there are some people, and we test this with the Dutch test. If you're like, how do I know what my levels are? This is what I tried to draw. So terrible. This is what I tried to draw. This is the brain. So we test your melatonin levels in the Dutch test when we do your comprehensive hormone panel. We get to see what this is. Is this high end, low end, below range, that type of a thing? Oftentimes, if your melatonin levels are off, your other neurotransmitters are going to be off as well, because they all are related. And if these levels are off, then sometimes taking a melatonin supplement can be helpful. But if your levels are not off, then it's not melatonin, and taking melatonin isn't going to help. You have to just use other signals for the brain to help it wind down and go to bed. My cousin's son hasn't slept for days. He has cystic fibrosis and can't sleep. That is hard. See, there's a lot of inflammation in the body with CF, and that can be really uncomfortable too. Yes. So these are things that we test. So if you're wondering what are my levels, what do I do, all of that stuff, that's what we test for to make sure we know what the best recommendations for you. There are some gals that I work with that they're like, yeah, I have a hard time sleeping, but their melatonin levels are fine. Okay. Then we have to work with our cortisol levels more to get that straightened out, because your cortisol levels and your circadian rhythms at night are like so closely related that if your cortisol patterns are off, it's going to be really, really hard to manage your melatonin and circadian rhythms at night. Yeah. So that's why we test for that and look for that as well. And then the other thing to think about is when you're taking melatonin. If your melatonin is low and you're taking melatonin, I always recommend starting with a smaller dose. And again, these are just suggestions. I'm just saying if you've tried it or want to try it, you can. Because usually melatonin is a, fairly safe thing. To start with a very small dose, like a half a serving or less even, to see how your system responds to it. And you don't need to take a ton of it, right? If you take too much, it might give you really weird dreams or it might make you really groggy in the morning. That's not something that you want, right? You want to get to sleep, stay asleep, wake up feeling refreshed. That's like basic, right? So it can be helpful to get melatonin, but again, you want to make sure that you are doing the right things for this. So you can take melatonin at bedtime. Say you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you're taking it right when you go to bed. Great. That is most helpful though if you wake up in the middle of the night. If you're somebody who wakes up in the middle of the night, taking melatonin when you go to bed can be helpful to keep you asleep. But if you have a hard time going to sleep, you should try taking melatonin when it's dinner time, or at least a couple hours before. Give the melatonin a little bit of time to do its thing in your system. And then you'll get like, oh, I'm sleepy. Oh, look, I'm doing all the darkness at nighttime things. Oh, look, I'm wearing my fantastic, really sexy glasses to kind of calm my system down. Yes, right? That's what I'm talking about. And then you'll be able to get to sleep. It's all about getting your system what it needs. Most of the time, I find that people actually don't need a ton of melatonin. It's like a small amount, but at the right timing and in combination with these other lifestyle changes. The other side of this, of course, is the morning, waking up, getting light in your face. If you can't rise with the sun and get sunshine on your face, then you use a sun lamp. You can get them on Amazon. I moved stuff around and I actually can't find mine right now. I was just using it. And now I'm going to have to find it. It's in a box. I moved things around and put things in boxes. And I was like, oh, I'll put this right here where I'm going to use it. Right? We all do that. Yeah. So it's in my box over there and I didn't want to dig it out. So otherwise I was going to show you my sun lamp. But they have sun lamp. You can get them on Amazon. Right? Fairly inexpensive to use and make a huge difference in allowing your system to wake up in the morning, and then getting your system triggered in the morning actually is so much more helpful to get your system to wind down at night. If you're trying to go to sleep at night, it's hard to just say, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, and put so much pressure on sleep time at night. It's more of, okay, let's get my system going in the morning and then use that time to carry over into nighttime and do all these other lifestyle things. And then if, again, you can try melatonin and see if that works. I pee all night, I'll wake up with a wet pad. Yes, and then there is the hydration piece of it, where if you have to, if you hydrate a lot before bed, you'll have to get up and go to the bathroom. But if you do get up and go to the bathroom, you should be able to fall right back asleep pretty well and not stay up. So that's a big key thing. So that is my info on melatonin. That is what we're talking about. If you guys have questions, let me know. If you want me to do more on waking up with more energy and sort of cortisol patterns throughout the day, let me know. You can leave a comment. I'm more than happy to chat about that. I can chat about that and your serotonin and other neurotransmitter levels throughout the day. But I've gotten this question from a lot of people, like, should I take melatonin? How much, when, all those things. And it's so much more than just, oh, just take a bunch of melatonin type of thing. It's, let's kind of figure out what your system's doing and what it really needs help with, because there's a lot of lifestyle things that you can take care of a majority of your issues with sleep. But then if you're like, yeah, I'm doing all the things, I've been doing this for a solid month, like strict bedtime, nighttime routine, all that other stuff, and I still have a hard time sleeping, can I take the melatonin? Yes. And then again, the timing of it, do you need it at dinner time? Do you need it at bedtime? Sometimes a little bit goes a long way. So again, we test for these things. That's why I'd like to make sure that you are getting the right thing for your system. So we make sure it's customized for you. Yes. Ooh, talk more about cortisol. Yes. Okay. I can do a whole video on red light glasses. I'll try that. Yes. These are super fun and attractive. They're like $10, seriously. A lot of these little like things, I mean, like you can get a salt lamp for like $20, right? You can get a light bulb for like $5. Just like a light bulb and put it in a little lamp. Yeah, right? Potato, right? So great. great. Like all these little things. Yeah. So then next I'll do, I can do a whole video on cortisol levels, waking up with energy, and how to work on that, because we covered the getting to bed and what really triggers this. Isn't this funny? Like the light triggers the pineal gland. It's the lack of light, really. It is what it is, to be more accurate on it. But yeah, so that's that piece of it. And then I'll talk more about cortisol, things like that too. So let me know if you guys have any other questions. Let me know if you need anything else. Again, I talk about this stuff because it's related to your hormones. If you are at certain points of your cycle, it can impact how well melatonin is perceived and your body's ability to sleep as well. Oftentimes gals in the progesterone phase, or if you're in perimenopause or menopause, it can be harder to sleep. So when I talk about this more in my books, The Female Fat Solution and The Female Menopause Solution, these are on Amazon. I also have my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Beth Westie, and my podcast, which is called The Female Health Solution. So I dive into more things there, but just realize if you notice that you have trouble sleeping, and it can be cyclical with your cycle, with the month, with the full moon even, when you ovulate, these are all specific things that, again, we test for to make sure that when we target something for you specifically, we are making the best recommendations possible. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I will see you later.